Yo, what's up, nerds? It's MTG Man, and welcome to $100 Deck Tech / if I had a Seto Kaiba briefcase of commander decks, what decks would I have in it? And today is Cormela the Glamour Thief. So, Cormela Glamour Thief is a kind of strange combo deck. And by that I mean the combos are complicated, and they hurt my head a little bit, kind of. Like, not super complicated, but they're a little complicated. So, what does she do? Well, for 1 blue-black-red, she has haste. You can pay 1 and tap her to add blue-black-red, spend it only on instants and sorceries, and when she dies, return up to 1 target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. So there are 3 combos that this deck uses. We'll just keep this hand for illustrative purposes. So, the first combo uses a card like Demonic Gifts and a Sacrifice Outlet, where is it? Well, there's 2 ways to do this combo anyway. So we're just going to put this one, and this one, and this one, and where's the other one? Is it already in hand? Oh, there it is. So we'll move these to hand. So the first way to do this combo, you play Cormela, you have an Ashnod's Altar out, and we have Demonic Gifts in hand. So we tap Cormela for blue-black-red. We use the blue and the black to cast Demonic Gifts. So when she dies this turn, she'll be returned to the battlefield, right? So then we sacrifice her to Ashnod's Altar to create 2 colorless mana. When she dies, we get to return Demonic Gifts to our hand. However, because of Demonic Gifts, when she dies, she's returned to the battlefield. So we can then use the colorless mana from Ashnod's Altar to pay for blue-black-red, use the blue and the black on Demonic Gifts, sacrifice her to Ashnod's Altar, and we can do this over and over for her to enter the battlefield infinite times. The other way we can do this, if we don't have a sack outlet that creates mana, is something like either Goblin Bombardment and Storm-Kiln Artist, or Goblin Bombardment and Pitiless Plunderer. So, let's just say we cast Demonic Gifts, so we tap her for blue-black-red, we use the blue and black on Demonic Gifts, we create a treasure with Storm-Kiln Artist. Then we sack her to Goblin Bombardment to deal 1 damage. When she dies, we get to bring back Demonic Gifts, and then, because of Demonic Gifts, she comes back, and then we cast it. We use the 1 from Storm-Kiln, since it created a treasure, to pay for the blue-black-red, and we continue over and over. Or, we can use Pitiless Plunderer so that whenever she dies, we create a treasure, and we can do it over and over again. Pitiless Plunderer is also important for another combo in this deck, as well as Storm-Kiln Artist, where we use something like Twin Flame. Now, Twin Flame, when you cast it, so Cormela, and let's just put Pitiless Plunderer out. So, when Twin Flame is cast, we get to create a copy of Cormela, right? So we'll tap her for blue-black-red. We create a copy. Now we have 2 Cormelas, so we have to sacrifice the original one to the Legend Rule. When the original one dies, we put Twin Flame back in our hand. Because one died, Pitiless Plunderer will then create a treasure token. We use that treasure on the blue-black-red for the copy of Cormela. We cast Twin Flame on the copy, creating another Cormela. When it dies, we'll get Twin Flame black, and we can just continue doing that over and over again. As you can see, each time we're getting infinite ETBs, so we can kill our opponents with something like Impact Tremors, and we're also getting infinite spellcast triggers. So if we have like a Thermo-Alchemist, we can win with something like that. The last combo in this deck is a tiny bit more complicated, and it uses Saw in Half and Dark Ritual. So we have Cormela on the battlefield, we add blue-black-red, we cast Dark Ritual with the black. Then we use the 3 mana from Dark Ritual to cast Saw in Half. So we get to destroy Cormela. When she dies, we get to put Dark Ritual back into our hand, and Saw in Half will create 2 copies of her. Now, the 2 copies have half her power and half her toughness, but they'll have the same abilities. So when the 2 copies enter, one of them will die to the Legend Rule, and when it dies, we get to put Saw in Half back into our hand. So then, we can use, oh shit. Sorry. So you don't use all of the mana from Dark Ritual on the Saw in Half. You use, like, 2 of it, and you keep 1 black mana floating, because then you can use that black mana to tap the next Cormela for blue-black-red, and just continue the combo over and over. Again, this is infinite spells cast and infinite ETB triggers. That's basically how the deck wins the game. In place of Twin Flame, you can also use Molten Duplication, and in place of Demonic Gifts, there's also Presumed Dead. It just gives you options. So now that the combos are explained and that's out of the way, let's just get into the rest of the deck. So it uses Narset, Merfolk Looter, Thundertrap Trainer, Unctus. Because we have Cormela as a blue creature, tapping over and over again every time we do these loops, we'll get to draw a card and discard a card from Unctus over and over again to basically search for our library. If we have the combo going but we don't have Impact Tremors, we can just continue doing it until we get Impact Tremors. Something like that, so we can just win the game. Vohar is just another way to draw and discard. Arcane Infusion lets us put a instant or sorcery from the top 4 into our hand, which can help us get one of our combo pieces. Dig Through Time is just a great draw spell. Frantic Search is a good draw spell. Impulse, Salon's Visions, Cathartic Reunion, Drawn from Dreams, Expressive Iteration, Night's Whisper, Ponder, Serum Visions, Theft of Dreams, Treasure Cruise. If you notice, there's a lot of draw in this deck because we just want to get to the win cons as fast as possible. Moving into ramp, Arcane Signet, Dimir Signet, Fellwar Stone, Izzet Signet, Rakdos Signet, Soul Ring, Talismans, and then Dark Ritual's kind of in ramp. It's not really ramp, it's just it's a combo piece, but you could use it as ramp, if you really needed to. Removal-wise, we have an Offer You Can't Refuse, partially for removal, partially because it can just kind of protect our combo. Cathartic Pyre, because it's removal and draw. Chaos Warp, Foil, since it's a free counterspell, and we just want to make sure we're able to protect our combo. Miscast as a cheap counterspell to protect our combo. Rewind as a near-free counterspell to protect our combo. Spell Pierce, Unwind, protects our combo, almost free. Feed the Swarm, Witness Protection. If you notice, there's a lot of removal in this deck too. You want to be able to get to your combo as fast as possible, but you need to be able to deal with your opponents in the meantime, and you also need to have counterspells up to protect your combo. Sack Outlet-wise, you want to be using Ashnod's Altar most of the time, but the deck also plays like a Carrion Feeder and a Viscera Seer and a Goblin Bombardment so that you can win with other sack outlets. Guttersnipe, Kessig Flamebreather, Thermo-Alchemist, and Third Path Iconoclast are just ways to benefit off of casting infinite spells. This category I'm calling the One. Basically, this is how you pay the 1 mana to tap her again to keep doing the thing that you want to do. So Pitiless Plunderer create a treasure when she dies, so you can pay for the blue, black, red, and continue the combo. Storm-Kiln Artist will create a treasure off of a spellcast, so you can pay for the blue, black, red. Thermopod is another sack outlet. Warren Soultrader is a sack outlet, but you also have to pay 1 life, so it's definitely on the worst side. And Ashnod's Altar. Basically, these 3 let you sacrifice her for the mana that you then use to pay for the blue, black, red to then recast Demonic Gifts and then just keep going over and over. Tutor-wise, the deck plays these transmute cards where you can pay usually 3 to search for a card with the same mana value. So Dimir Infiltrator can help you find either a sack outlet like Goblin Bombardment. It can find a combo piece like Twin Flame or Demonic Gifts, or it could just find you a mana rock if you really needed a mana rock, or it can find you your win con like Kessig Flamebreather or Impact Tremors. So it's just a good option. Same with Muddle the Mixture. Mystical Tutor lets you search for an instant or sorcery, which is just strong because the deck needs that instant or sorcery to win. Shred Memory, again, just transmute it. Waterlogged Teachings is a tutor and it's a land, so it's just a solid inclusion for the deck. Demonic Bargain kind of hurts, but you have multiple ways to do everything in this deck. There's no one piece. So if you accidentally exile Ashnod's Altar, you still have Goblin Bombardment and Pitiless Plunderer, or you still have Thermopod. It's just giving you a pretty cheap, let's be real, 28 cents for a tutor is very affordable, especially when you're building on a budget. Profane Tutor, just to search for whatever you need. Solve the Equation to search for an instant or sorcery, because again, that's how you win. Impact Tremors to benefit off of the infinite ETBs. Moving into lands, Canyon Slaw, Command Tower, Darkwater Catacombs, Exotic Orchard, Feeded Pools, Frostboil Snarl, Islands, Mountains, Seething Landscape, Shadowblood Ridge, Swamps, Temple of Deceit, Temple of Epiphany, and Temple of Malice. Again, the deck plays temples because you want to make sure you're getting certain draws, so being able to scry one is actually a lot more helpful than it seems. This is a hand you keep. So if you notice, we have Saw in Half, so if we need to, we can just find Dark Ritual with, like, Demonic Bargain. We have Ashnod's Altar, so if we need to, we can just search for one of our like, combo pieces with Demonic Bargain. This is exactly what the deck wants. So Temple of Epiphany, scry 1. We'll leave the Swamp on top because I think we may need it. We go Feeded Pools tapped. We cast Ponder. We look at the top 3, and we can put them back in order, and then we may shuffle. So let's look at the top 3. I think we want to shuffle, and then we get to draw a card. So shuffle, draw. Okay, so now we have another counterspell. We can go for a Swamp into Demonic Bargain, exile the top 13 cards of our library, which on paper really does hurt, but this deck does not care all that much. And then we get to search our library for a card. So with Ashnod's Altar, I think it's probably best that we just search our library for a... for Demonic Gifts. We put it in hand. We shuffle. Move to turn 4. At this point, we want to run out Cormela. We could dig through time if we... Well, actually, no, we don't. Yeah, we don't have enough to dig through time at the moment. We could play Ashnod's Altar. Oh, wait. Yeah, we're great. So we cast Demonic Gifts on Cormela. We sacrifice her to Ashnod's Altar. Sorry. My bad. I got too excited. We add blue, black, red. We cast Demonic Gifts. We float a blue. We sacrifice Cormela to Ashnod's Altar. We're floating 2 colorless and a blue. When she dies, we return Demonic Gifts to hand. Because of Demonic Gifts, she enters the battlefield again. We use 1 colorless to tap her for blue, black, red. We use the black and the red to cast Demonic Gifts. We do this over and over. We float a bajillion blue mana and a bajillion Ashnod's Altar mana. Because if you notice, every time, we're still getting 1 colorless off of Ashnod's Altar. So then we use some of that bajillion blue mana to cast Dig Through Time. We look at the top 7, and we can put 2 in hand. So, at this point, we put Kessig Flamebreather and a... See, if we would have tapped our lands correctly earlier, we could have, like, waited. Or we could have cast Ashnod's Altar using, like, blue and black mana, or just... We could have done something differently and won this turn. But at this point, we put Kessig Flamebreather and Foil into our hand. We put the rest on the bottom of the library, which I don't know how to do, so I'm just putting them in exile. Cormela's in battlefield, untapped. And here's the thing, right? We can just pass turn. This combo, as far as I know, can be done at instant speed. So if our opponent wants to do anything to interact with our combo, we start doing it at instant speed. We get a bajillion blue mana, and then we have like 3 counter spells in hand. So if they want to remove it, that's not really an option. And then we would just move to our next turn, go, oh no, and then Kessig Flamebreather, start doing it all over again. And then since we have Kessig Flamebreather, every time we do the loop, each opponent's burned for 1. So we just do it 40 times and they're dead. That was like the perfect hand. Let's be real. That is as well as it could possibly go. That was a win by turn 5. And let's be real, for an $100 deck, a win by turn 5 is pretty impressive. That being said, Cormela can be shaky. Okay? I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you don't get a good hand, if you're not drawing correctly, if you're not using your tutors correctly, this deck can lose. Very badly. But a $100 combo deck is pretty impressive, I would say. And the amount of different ways you can pull off the combo is really good. The only real problem this deck can have is when we played Cormela turn 4, if the opponent knows, okay, this is a combo deck, they can kind of just remove Cormela as fast as possible. And if we have to keep paying for more command attacks, it can kind of get out of hand, and Cormela can kind of go down the drain. But that's a minimal problem. You know, I've seen commander decks fall for worse. That being said, this has been MTG, man. Stay cool, stay sick, stay all of that. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.